horse in a day, that most people lived on the farm and that was their life, and church and market was their social life. And I would suggest that possibly even further back, again, transportation being limited, that 12 days of Christmas was when everybody came to visit, and it wasn't worth it to just come visit for one day. So that would have extended the holiday.
Interesting comment. I forgot to tell you a story that's not a Christmas story, but it was so neat I needed to pass it on. I called Mary Faulkner and asked her how Christmas was different, if it was, when she and Tom were here. And she said, "Oh no, it was about the same as it is now, John." She said, "You know, what was most interesting when we first came here was that we found that the steeple was about to fall off the church. And my father was an engineer, so we called on him to come down and help stabilize the steeple." She said, "You know, I thought with your husband in the pulpit and your father in the steeple, you probably need to work." But it's a reminder of Mary Faulkner, and we really got to get her back for a little more oral history. Point X.
What did they do to the steeple, John?
Oh, I don't know the detail. Her father's engineering firm did something to secure it.
Across the board.
I will tell you, John, that I was recently here, and there seems to be an argument among the folks doing the renovation about one of the brick walls in the back of the church.
Yes.
And we need to figure out if that's what they did, because we don't want the steeple falling down because we take it.
Yeah. What an interesting thought. Well, let's ask Mary. She might know. You know, and of course Mary produced the St. Georgian, the newsletter, for all the time they were here. And we could probably look through the St. Georgian, of which there is a complete set in the archives, captained by our friend Tripp.
She borrowed some of them, though.
Oh, okay. Reminiscences. What's Christmas been like at St. George's or elsewhere that you want to share with people? Yes.
When I was writing the Rural Living magazine, I had the absolute joy to interview this young African American who was just delightful to work there. And she was from Caroline County. And it was, it was a story of Christmas traditions in rural America. And she said that when she was a young girl, they had their house was traditional. It was symmetrically balanced with a staircase that went up, and the bedrooms were on either side. And there were a lot of children, and her father would have a difficult time getting them settled down and into the bed. So he, sent them upstairs in the mother would put them all in bed and all this stuff. And of course there was the twittertation upstairs in the bedroom. And so he came up with the tradition of getting small firecrackers. And what he would do is he would open the door and let the cold rush in, and he would set off the firecrackers at about 9 or 9:30, and he'd say, "Oh, that's Santa! There are the bells! There's the whip! Oh, he's coming! Listen, it's the reindeer! Oh my gosh, Mary, you better put these children in bed or they'll never hit the roof!" Don't you love that? Don't you absolutely love that image? And she said that he would put bells on, and he would set these small firecrackers off all around the house, and he had these bells that he would shake, and he would whoop and hit his thighs so that it sounded like the reindeer were being, urged on through the sky. I absolutely love that image. I absolutely love that image. So, there's that.
Thoughts on Christmas past, Christmas gear, Christmas things that we used to do and ought to do? Yes. Well.
I just, when you asked the question, a few minutes ago, I have a couple of little photographs from, I've been at St. George's a long time. Most of my Christmases were connected with Catherine and Ben Hicks and their kids. And one of the earliest memories, Mary Lawrence was about 4 or 5, and she was an angel that year in the Christmas party. And it's so prophetic. Her halo was crooked.
We ought, by the way, to ask anybody who has snapshots of anything to do with the church, not just Christmas, please let us copy them. We are surprisingly short on records of changes in the church building over time.
Well, I know Marcia Cole would have his kids dressed up as angels and have them kneeling before the manger with the baby. We have a great picture of Lee looking very angelic, just in her angel outfit, praying over the baby in the manger. Marcia would do that.
I know.
Yes, yeah.
When Rebecca Eller was about 13 or 14, she had that gorgeous hair. And it was the 11 o'clock service, and she was one of the acolytes. And the hymn had finished, and the choir was hushed. And, it was that quiet right before you walk down the aisle. And I think one of our boys was an acolyte that time too. Anyway, they had lit the candles, and the church was dark. And there was Rebecca, and there was the child behind her with the candle. Oh, and there was all the whoa, whoa! And we went back there thinking, oh my gosh, we've got to tell them to be quiet. Her hair was on fire!
Those Episcopal.
Everybody
Yes.
pounced on her.
Pam has a story or a comment.
No, it's just a musical memory. There are many musical memories, but I remember a Christmas Eve service, the preliminary music that a former director of music, Susan Undernock, just had we weren't treated to it very often, but she had a remarkable mezzo-soprano
Yes.
capabilities.
Yes.
Yeah, she did.
Wonderful.
Stunning, yeah.
Yeah.
And so no matter what else we had of beautiful music presentations, including those gorgeous brasses on Christmas Eve.
Yes, I remember that.
The brasses were fabulous. But Susan sang I think from Handel, she sung, I think, He Shall Feed Us Flock, is that it? I think that's what it's called. It is just,
Yeah, I remember. I happened to be in the choir when the first time I ever said eyes from Susan, and it was this sort of plain lady in a sweater, and suddenly opened her mouth. Whoa!
Yeah.
Amazing. Yes.
This is showing my ignorance. Do we still have the birthday cake on for the children's service? Remember when Charles was here for the children's service, they had a birthday cake
that's
for
right.
Jesus.
Right.
And all the children would blow out the candle.
That was an Avis Harris thing. Yeah.
That was
Remember that?
when they had those paper chains that they would have made when we were
For
greeting the
Advent.
church.
That's
right.
right.
We'd be greeting the church and they were down there making paper chains.
That's
and the whole family would be decorated with those
Oh
paper
gosh,
chains.
what?
And
I
the big
have
birthday
a
cake.
recollection of some enormously long paper.
Yeah.
Enormously.
Pages.
They would just,
Yeah. Huh. Well, there's a thought for things to think about considering once again. Yes.
Well, many years ago when I went to this church and my girls were young,
Yes.
they are now 34.
They're still young.
And, well, yeah. But we were regulars, we always came. And I just remember being here one Christmas Eve, and at the time we were poor. I mean, we were struggling, and money was tight, and I felt extremely shabby because it was Christmas Eve and everybody was here in their finest finery, in these gorgeous furs and things. And I don't know, I was sitting there feeling a little down, and somebody came up and asked us to be the oblation bearers for Christmas Eve. And that meant so much.
Great story. Other thoughts, comments, questions?
There are many usher stories, I'm sure, ushers over Christmas and the things that happen. And I remember we had when I was years ago, when we first came here, they asked me to usher on Christmas Eve, and the church was packed, the gallery was packed, and somebody's kid was loose up on the balcony. Charles was giving the sermon, and this kid got hold of the flag up there. He was leaning through the bars, and he started shaking the flag. And holy Jesus, you know, what's going to happen? And should we go up there, you know? So finally, I think a parent ultimately.
Right. I never thought about usher stories.
There are a lot of usher stories.
Oh,
Lord, there's another one.
Uh-huh.
Well, this is on John Coker, but you know, one of the things the ushers have to do when you come up, if you're the last one, you have to finish off the line at a communion. And so I was the last usher in line, and John Coker came around, and he had the chalice, and he said to me, the blood of Christ, take a big swig. I thought I was going to strangle.
I will tell a non-Christmas but an Easter story along those lines. At St. Mark's, Capitol Hill, I was one of the people circulating the cup. And there people brought wine, and for that particular Easter, the people who were bringing it had brought champagne. The rector uncorked the champagne, poured it in the cup, and I was carrying it around, and there were two smart-ass 13-year-old boys, and one looked at the other and said, "Doesn't look like the blood of Christ to me." Anything else, folks? Yes.
Your pronunciation of Doll's story just recalled my father's own mother, Bama, who was born on Salem Farm. She loved to play with dolls, and all her dolls were debutantes, and none of them was married because she liked to have her free-spirited dolls. And she went on a shopping trip to town with her parents one time, and when she came back to the farm, her sisters told her that they had married off all of her dolls. And she never played with them again.
Maybe it was a little doll thing.
Formal pronunciation.
Thank you all for coming.